All right, let's continue with the word of the Most High. All praise and glory to His holy name. Let's look at Ecclesiasticus, the 27th chapter, in verse 10. It says, "As the lion lieth in wait for the prey," you know, a lion is waiting for the prey, waiting to get his food, go pounce on his meal. So sin, which is transgression of the Most High's laws, for them that work iniquity. So was sin for them that work iniquity, wickedness. The discourse of a righteous man is always with wisdom. And wisdom is the proper application of knowledge, how to apply this knowledge in your life when the book is closed. But a fool changes as the moon. The fool is wishy-washy, is wavering. And it's most I talk about that. A fool changes like the moon. Like the phases of the moon. You know how the moon phases change? That's what he's comparing it to. A fool. So I go to James, the first chapter. We're going to look at this. Because if you change it like the moon, it says, James 1 and 5. He said, if any of you lack wisdom, the proper application of knowledge, let him ask the Most High. They give it to all men liberally, and upbraideth not, and it shall be given him. Ask the Most High. But let him ask in faith. You got to believe in the Most High. Have faith in the Most High to believe that he's going to give it to you. Nothing wavering, see? That's that changing like the moon. Wavering is like, maybe he will, maybe he won't. Ain't no maybes in the Bible. Did he say maybe he will, maybe he won't? Say nothing wavering. You the one that's changing like the moon. That's wavering. For he that wavereth is like a wave of the sea, driven with the wind and tossed. This day, okay, I'm an Israelite. This day, you a Gentile. This day, you wicked as ever. Iniquity. That's what it's saying. A fool changes as the moon. See? Wavering. He that wavereth is like a wave of the sea, driven with the wind and tossed. For let not that man think that he shall receive anything of the Most High. Hear that? You wavering like the moon, like you said, changing like the moon. You wavering. See, don't think that the Most High gonna give you anything. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. See, continuing in Ecclesiasticus 27, verse 12. If thou be among the indiscreet, observe the time. You say, observe the time. If you're amongst the indiscreet. But be continually among men of understanding. You know, be continually among men of understanding, especially in these last days, y'all. It's very important to be continually among men of understanding. The discourse of fools is irksome. And their sport is in the wantonness of sin. You know that? A fool gonna be wanting to sin. He gonna find an excuse in his own vain mind to sin. Look at verse 27. He that worketh mischief, it shall fall upon him. Like a lot of these nations are, like I said in Psalms 83rd chapter, they work in mischief. while they bringing forth Jacob's trouble. And the things that's written are coming to be. And those that are working mischief and sin, it's going to fall upon you. You're going to pay for it one way or another. And he shall not know whence it cometh. You hear that? You ain't going to know where it's coming. You ain't going to know where it's coming. You ain't going to know where it's coming from, and you're going to know when it's coming. All of a sudden, bam, out of nowhere, you hit. Mockery and reproach are from the proud. Hear that? Mockery and reproach are from the proud. They think they all that. But vengeance as a lion, shall lie in wait for them. Hear that? You want to be prideful? You say vengeance as a lion, and you by yourself, with no weapons of war at all. He say, mockery and reproach are from the proud, but vengeance as a lion shall lie in wait for them. You're going to get the proud. You don't like the proud at all. They that rejoice at the fall of the righteous shall be taken in a snare. You'll be taken in a trap. And anguish shall consume them before they die. Hear that? They think they're doing something to the righteous. Most I say you're going to be caught in a trap. And you're going to be angry until you die. Malice and wrath. You angry, you don't really have a cause to be angry. And you bring down your wrath. Even these are abominations. And the sinful man shall have them both. Hear that? The sinful man, the one that, or the sinful woman, gonna have them both. Malice, somebody don't even have a reason to be mad at you, angry with you. All of a sudden they angry with you. They don't even know you. And wrath. All of a sudden, boom, you caught up in something that's hurtful to the core of the bone, the marrow of the bone. Because you're a sinful man or you're a sinful woman. Most I said, let's continue. This is dealing with hatred. See, a lot of times, the judgment comes from the way we're not obedient, how we offended the Most High. So you got to look at what is it that, how we conduct ourselves that's offensive to the Most High, because remember, he said, I love Jacob. And we choosing who we love and who we don't love. That's why it's very, very important to love our people. Let's continue like this. Ecclesiastes 28:1. He that revenges shall find vengeance from the Most High. You want to be a avenger or revenge on the Most High's people? So you're going to find vengeance from the Most High. And he will surely keep his sins in remembrance. See that? If he keep your sins in remembrance, what you think he's going to do? Cast your butt to the lake of fire and bring the wrath of the Most High on you? Forgive thy neighbor the hurt that he hath done unto thee. So shall thy sins also be forgiven when thou prayest. So you got to forgive. I mean, it's no different. I mean, it's the same thing we read. Go to Matthew 6, the 6th chapter. My second shot gave us the Our Father prayer. Look what he said in the end. Verse 12. No, excuse me. Verse 14. For if ye forgive men their trespasses, the things they've done against you, Israelites, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. But if you forgive not men their trespasses, neither will your Father forgive your trespasses. See? Look at Mark the 11th chapter. Verse 25 and 26. And when you stand praying, forgive if you have aught a problem against any, that your Father also which is in heaven may forgive you your trespasses, the things you have done wrong in his eyes, and being disobedient and offending him. But if you do not forgive, neither will your Father which is in heaven forgive your trespasses. Simple as that. Going back to Ecclesiastes 28. Verse 2. Forgive thy neighbor the hurt that he have done unto thee. So shall thy sins also be forgiven when thou prayest. One man beareth hatred against another, and does he seek pardon from the Most High? That's why I say you can't go praying to him when you got hatred in your heart, in your mind. You say you got hatred against your brother, and there's another Israelite brother, and you going before the Most High and seeking a pardon from the Most High for your sins? He showed no mercy to a man. Don't show no mercy to a man, which is like himself. And does he ask forgiveness of his own sins? Look, the Most High given us mercy and grace. Mercy and grace is to the Israelites only, because we the ones who's given the law, statutes, commandments. He said, you don't show no mercy, which is not getting something you do deserve. You're going to give them whatever they deserve in your own mind. This is what I'm going to do to them because of your hateful self. He showed no mercy to a man, which is like himself. And does he ask forgiveness of his own sins? Hear that? You going to ask forgiveness of your own sins? No, the Most High going to make you sick. He's going to bring these plagues upon you. He'll bring the pestilence against you because your heart, your mind is not right. Your spirit is not right. If he that is but flesh nourishes hatred, we just flesh. You nourishing hatred, who will entreat for pardon of his sins? Somebody hateful, you can't even go to the Most High and ask for pardon of his sins because they're hateful. And they could be sick. They could be caught in these plagues that's on this earth right now, these pestilence and so forth. But they sit around with that's why you can't hold on no grudge. You gotta let it go, people. Let your mind be clear. So the Most High can bless you in your prayers and you doing what's right, as it is written. This is what he said. Remember thy end. Remember your end. Because in the end gonna come to judgment. And let enmity cease. Let this warfare cease. That's within you. Remember corruption and death, and abide in the commandments. Hear that? Abide in the commandments. Remember the commandments. And bear no malice, bear no hatred without a cause. I mean, you really don't have a cause to be having hatred. A lot of times people aren't even around each other, sitting around having a problem with somebody. You ain't even around. They living their life. And you sitting around having a problem with someone. She said, hey, remember the end. He said, remember the commandments and bear no malice to thy neighbor. Remember the covenant of the highest. Covenant with who? Abraham, to Isaac, to Jacob, to the 12 tribes of Israel. And wink at ignorance. Say wink at ignorance, right? He said, scripture say, let the ignorant be ignorant. Say wink at ignorance. They're supposed to be getting all, it's a process that you have to go through because a lot of you have gone through becoming an Israelite and you have this mindset of getting angry with someone that don't hear you or don't deal with the way you think they should deal with understanding what you understand. And that's wrong because that brings about a pride in you. Well, he's telling you what to do. Gotta let it go, man. You just a messenger. What scripture is your name, that chapter, and that verse with your name on it? You better think about it. For real. That's why you gotta let it go. But it's, it might not be expedient because I know that we come in this and we learn all this, and it's like you feel a certain way, but you can't feel a way that will make you be prideful. Because the Most High will visit you. His name is jealous. And all of a sudden, we got to realize, oh, am I stepping in the Most High's place? Or my place is to give him all the praise and glory and not try to offend him any more than what we have already throughout all these years of offending him over and over and over and over again. We don't want to do that. Because the Most High is the one that draws people to a Mashiach Yahushua. And the Mashiach Yahushua said, and I, if I be lifted up from the earth, will draw all men unto me. Not unto no camp, not unto no individual, not to no leaders, not to anyone but a Mashiach. To the glory of the Most High. The Most High shows you a Mashiach. The Mashiach Yahushua show you the Most High. Not us. We just individuals. None of y'all said what number you are at 144,000. What gate you're going through. We don't know. Or say what's going to happen to you next week. Or tomorrow. Or the next day. You don't know. We don't know. That's why we got to humble ourselves before the Most High visit us with his wrath, his fury, his indignation. I mean, what do we have to do? We have a word. We looking at what he done to us. Today and of the past, from today, in our time. But some of you think he can't visit you? Oh, you better think again, because now you're going into the realm of righteousness. You so righteous that the Most High can't visit you? Oh, sound like Job to me. Job thought he was righteous. That's why the Most High sent Satan on him. Satan didn't ask for Job. The Most High sent Satan on Job. That's why we gotta really consider what we dealing with here. And watch your mind. Because they'll tell you knowledge puffers up. Watch the way you roll. Have you laid down your life for your people? The Mashiach Shai did. We haven't. That's why it's about humility. This is very, very important. Going back to Ecclesiastes 28. Remember the commandments and bear no malice to thy neighbor. Remember the covenant of the highest and wink at ignorance, right? Go to Acts 17 and 30. He said wink at ignorance. Told us to wink at ignorance. So if you wink at ignorance, then it's like you're not taking it to the point where you get all uptight. I know it's a process of time, but if you don't ever hear it, then how you going to make that change? You have to hear, because the Most High not satisfied with the beatdown of his people because they don't know. You know, I've been in many high-powered I'll say debates was really, really fiery. And the person come back and their whole spirit has changed. They realized what I was telling them was the truth. And I do self-examination. Okay, how did I come at them when they was all going crazy and all that? And I just remained calm. But there's times that wouldn't have been like that. It'd been fiery. Fire with fire. Heated. But still deal with the word. Because, I mean, generally it's people that I don't even know, and you don't know. You even know these people. Just because they don't accept it, it was a time that you didn't know what you know now. And as time goes on, we learn more and more of how to be better. You should, in the eyes of the Most High. That's what's important. So he said, hey, we say wink at it. Now, Acts 17 and 30. In the times of this ignorance, that we were in ignorance, not knowing. Before you start learning the truth. I ain't met nobody in this day and time that was born in the womb that's still following this truth from the point of being born in this truth and following the truth. In the times of this ignorance, the Most High winked at concerning us. We the Israelites, the leaders. He winked at us, being ignorant, in the world doing all kind of crazy stuff. But now commanding all men everywhere to repent and keep the commandments of the Most High. But he winked at our ignorance. So that's why he tells you got to wink at this. In other words, don't take it so personal. Don't take it so personal. Because it's going to hurt you. It's going to hurt you in the long run. Especially you young brothers. It's going to hurt you. That's why he said, verse 6, remember thy end and let enmity cease. Let that warfare cease. Remember, corruption and death shall abide in the commandments. See? Remember your end, man. That's why he said, wink at ignorance. Like he winked at our ignorance. Winked at your ignorance. Winked at my ignorance. Winked at everybody's ignorance came into this truth. He said, abstain from strife. Abstain from strife. That's in the spirit. Abstain from strife. Quarreling and going off on each other and just, especially people that don't know. I mean, people don't know they don't know. You ain't the one that called people to a Mashiach Yahushua. You're not the one that will show the people the Most High. Because the Mashiach Yahushua said, if I be lifted up from the earth, will draw all men unto me. Now, people say, oh yeah, they say they Mashiach. You said you Mashiach. But people will be drawn to a Mashiach. So we can show them of the Most High. Because he's in the bosom of the Most High to show them of the Most High. We just messengers. And hopefully the Most High will allow us to continue to be messengers to bring our people to the sheepfold. If we have the right spirit. It's all spiritual. Abstain from strife, and thou shalt diminish thy sins. You hear that? Abstain from strife. All you doing is looking around trying to see what I can get. Well, I can get over here. I can get over here. That's strife. How about what is it that we agree with? This is what works. What is it that we agree with? Okay, we agree with that. We agree with this. We agree with that. Do you think about that? Instead of, I know this and you don't know that. Here I am, I know this, you don't know this. So now we going back and forth with each other because we don't know this or whatever. I'm talking with an attitude. That's what he said with strife. What difference will it make? When they leave, what was their name? Where they live at? I'm waiting for answers. Who they daddy and mama? I'm waiting for answers. You don't know nothing about them. They're just somebody that come before us, and we deal on just like whoever's on this comment board gonna comment or we're gonna say whatever they're gonna say about this lesson. They don't know me, and I don't know them. They want to bring strife, I'm saying. But somebody always got something to say. That's why I say, abstain from strife, and thou shalt diminish thy sins. Hear that? Because you end up doing something that's wrong in the eyes of the Most High. And you think you're right because many are deceived by their own vain opinion. And your evil ways has overthrown the judgment, the righteous judgment that you should be making and following what he say do. There's a time and place for everything. But I'm saying this what works. What he's telling you. And it's about getting your spirit together so that you ain't got to really go there. Or else, go get you go start training in boxing. Yeah, that'll get you ready. Start training as a boxer. Take all that out on that bag. He said, abstain from strife, and thou shalt diminish thy sins. For a furious man will kindle strife. You hear that? That's talking to us first. A furious man will kindle strife. You're going to cause arguments. You're looking for arguments. Because you're a furious man. In the end, it's going to hurt you. It's going to hurt your gut. You're going to end up with an ulcer or something. In the end, it's going to hurt you. And don't take me to surely oppression make a wise man mad. Okay, you ain't oppressed right now if you sitting around listening to my lesson here. You're probably eating good. Got your yah-yah going on. You got everything happening that you would want happening. Because you out there acting like you got it going on, so you should have it going on. A sinful man disquieted friends. You hear that? A sinful man disquieted friends, man. And make a debate among them that be at peace. You know? Make a debate with them that be at peace. You got brothers, there's a peaceful brother, but a brother got to be like you. And you all furious and all angry and all that. Every brother ain't going to be no street teacher. Some brothers might come in just for help. That's it. That's it. When you got all the gifts that the Most High have in the body of a Mashiach, different gifts, man. They're going to do different things. Administration, somebody might be a doctor, lawyer, carpenter. His main job is doing just what he's doing. But it's like you programmed to think, and these are things that I dealt with in being a general and saying this the way these scriptures are saying. enrolling with the brothers and sisters like this, because how you gonna make somebody do something that the Most High may really call them to do, but you call them to do it? And see, they're not really capable of doing it, but certain other things they excellent in. Different gifts, different administrations. You got a peaceful brother. You want him to? He got to be all. Bring the. No, bring the fire, but he got to be the brother's peaceful brother. You got to change him to be what? The way you are. A sinful man disquieted friends. Disquieted friends. And maketh debate among them that be at peace. You going back and forth with a brother that's a peaceful brother. Let the Spirit guide them to what it is that they could do in the administration. That's why I tell you, is everybody the nose? Is everybody the eyes? Is everybody the ears? Everybody's the ears, so how you gonna see? You can hear, but you can't see. That's what it's saying. You can talk, but you can't hear. You can't see. Because you ain't got no ears and eyes. Everybody's the mouth. But you ain't got no eyes. You ain't got no ears. Verse 10, as the matter of a fire is, so it burneth. Fire burning, right? And as a man's strength is, so is his wrath. How strong he think he is in strength and being powerful and knowing this truth, so is his wrath. And according to his riches, his anger rises. You got more money, then you're going to get angry. Because you think it's money supposed to make everybody bow down because he got money. You hear what it say? And according to his riches, his anger rises. And the stronger they are which contend, the more they will be inflamed. You hear that? The stronger they are that contend, and we're going to contend with this truth, no matter how much money they have. What it say? The more they will be inflamed, the more they're going to get angry. As hasty or real fast, a quick contention kindleth a fire, and a hasty fighting sheddeth blood. Ready to fight real fast. No patience. If thou blow the spark, it shall burn. You blow that spark, it's going to burn. It's going to get hotter and hotter and hotter. If thou spit upon it, it shall be quenched. And both these come out of the mouth. The big mouth. That's why I say that most of the things that we're dealing with is coming from what? What we say. That's all it is. Big, bad, and hardcore in what we say. That's it. That's it right there. But what we say can lead to violence, the shedding of blood, in the matter that you conduct yourself. Psalms 51:17. I know I said a lot. So, Psalms 51:17. The sacrifices of the Most High are a broken spirit, a broken and a contrite heart. O Most High, thou wilt not despise. That's humility, man. That's humility. It's a sacrifice. Something that you don't want to do is a sacrifice. Or a broken spirit. A broken spirit. What do you got to do before you realize this is what you have to do? David was a mighty man. We just read how he was crying to the Most High. Crying to the Most High. Why must the Most High come to afflict you to the point that you have no choice but to cry to him? And then it's too late. Because you got to understand, the Most High is watching over us. And it's the end times. And he wants us to be a certain way. And he came crying to us too. He's long suffering. He has mercy and grace and compassion, and that's that love that he has, is compassion and desire to see us not hurt, to not see us afflicted. But we have a choice to choose life or death, blessing or cursing. And he's long suffering. Therefore, just because it's not expedient that he visits you, it don't mean that he will not. Because he's not a man he should lie. Go to Proverbs, the 1st chapter. Seventh verse. The fear of the Most High is the beginning of knowledge. You hear that? So you got all this knowledge, but you don't really fear him because he's telling you what he wants. And you want to do it another way. The fear of the Most High is the beginning of knowledge. The majority of the time, you got to come back to his love, his compassion for our people, the love for Jacob. Regardless of how it looks, how they come, you still got to love your people without, going off with your own feelings and your own way of showing them that you hate them by the way you treat them. Especially if it's a stranger. He tell you about the strangers. He tell you about, that's the Israelites, the widows and the fatherless. You watching over them. The strangers, the widows, and the fatherless. You watching over them. Fear of the Most High is the beginning of knowledge. But fools despise wisdom. A fool will despise wisdom. The proper application of knowledge and instruction. You can't tell them. This is instructions that you're getting now. This is a counsel. A counsel that everyone that can hear my voice is getting, including myself. I hear it first to me. And I know doing self-examination, going over and over and over again, and looking at myself, and looking at what it is that's going on with our nation, and what works and what don't work, and analyzing it, and praying to the Most High, and asking him to show me what will be beneficial for our nation. And if you can make it mean something different, I'm open to hear it too. But you better make sure you ain't coming with pride. The Most High hates you. Pride is hateful for man and the Most High. That's why you gotta check yourself. Proverbs 1. 24. He said, because I called. The Most High, I tell you, the Most High called you to know Mashiach Yahushai. Mashiach Yahushai show you the Most High, and then he allowed Mashiach Yahushai to do the choosing. Many are called, but few are chosen. Just because we know something, don't mean that we the chosen. Don't mean that we the righteous gonna make it. Just because we know precepts. Listen, he said, because I called and you refused. I have stretched out my hand. His hand is the men. It's somebody that need to hear this. And no man regarded. Hear that? He's telling you what works. The solutions, you hearing them, are you going to apply them in your life? But ye have said it not, all my counsel. All that you heard, it don't mean nothing. There's some of you out there. Because you're prideful. And you're arrogant. And you got nothing really to be prideful about. Compared to what's going on in this world, what's really happening in this world. And that's hateful before the Most High man anyway. You don't want to be that one. Pride has destroyed many. That's why I say. But ye have said it not all my counsel, and would none of my reproof. He said, I will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. He's going to laugh at your calamity. I mean, he's going to bring you down, man. I will mock when your fear cometh. The fear could come whenever before you die. How many people have, they got afraid, then he killed them. He killed. You make a lie. They fear come whenever something happened bad to them, and they sick. And they deal with these plagues that's on this earth, or the pestilences, or the wild beasts, or anything. But that matter. Get into somebody else's mind. I done looked at somebody looking right at me, bagged up right into me. Look at me right in the face. All kind of stuff, trying to do the work. So many things. He said, and also, will I laugh at your calamity? I will mock when your fear cometh. He's going to mock you. He's going to laugh at you. When your fear cometh as desolation, you start destroying everything you have. And your destruction cometh as a whirlwind. Man, that's like, I'm going to send a tornado. I'm going to send a hurricane after you. And what you going to do now? What you going to do if a hurricane come after you? All of a sudden, you having a good time, whatever, next thing you know, don't think it can't happen. I've seen it happen. Now you're dealing with the Most High and the elements that nobody can control, really, but the Most High. When your fear cometh as desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish come upon you. Hear that?